The U.S. Navy has always been the iron will of a proud and mighty nation pushing forward through the currents. The Navy has never failed to hunt, kill, and to win. The U.S. has an unstoppable dagger in its hands. Its name is USS Zumwalt. It's not a ship, it's more like a ghost. The world has recently begun to fear this $9 billion ghost ship, especially Russia, China, and North Korea. Because the USS Zumwalt was designed to destroy China's massive aircraft carriers, Russia's most secure nuclear bases, and North Korea's most secret command centers in a single blow before they even realize what is happening. For the axis of evil consisting of Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Jong-un, this is not just a new American warship, but a floating geopolitical nightmare that throws in their faces the reality that the keys to their own castles are now in the hands of an admiral in Washington. The question the Far East Alliance has about the USS Zumwalt is how this project, once ridiculed as a failed fiasco of the US Navy, suddenly became the world's most feared weapons platform. To understand this, one must step aboard the deck of the ghost ship USS Zumwalt and see how the hypersonic dagger it carries has brought the world to the brink of a new reality. The story of the USS Zumwalt is actually one of failure and rebirth from the ashes. When the program first began, the goal was to create a land attack destroyer equipped with revolutionary 151 beam of advanced gun systems, AGS, capable of bombarding enemy coastlines from miles away. The ship's futuristic design was dazzling, but there was a problem. The cost of each precision-guided missile these guns would fire had skyrocketed to nearly $1 million. This made each gunshot as expensive as launching a luxury sports car. Consequently, the U.S. Navy canceled the missile procurement, and the 3 ships of the Zumwalt class were left with the world's most advanced but useless guns on their decks, lacking ammunition. The project had turned into a $1 billion embarrassment, a spectacular failure. However, with the rise of China and Russia, strategists at the Pentagon saw a completely different and far more deadly potential in this failed platform. The problem was the guns, not the ship itself. The ship itself was a technological marvel, and in late 2024, that historic decision was made. The useless cannons on the ship's deck would be removed and replaced with massive vertical launch tubes capable of firing the U.S. newest, most secretive, and most terrifying weapon hypersonic missiles. With this decision, a failed gunboat was transformed into a covered assassination platform capable of destroying even the enemy's most heavily fortified strongholds with a single strike. The fiasco had evolved into a phantom, a hunter. The first feature that makes the Zumwalt so dangerous is its legendary stealth technology. The basic rule in modern naval warfare is simple: if you are detected, you die. Based on this rule, China built a massive network of satellites, radars, and sensors designed to detect and strike U.S. aircraft carriers and destroyers from thousands of kilometers away. The USS Zumwalt, however, was designed to fundamentally break this rule. So how does the Zumwalt achieve this stealth? The ship's revolutionary tumble-home hull design, with its inward sloping sides and completely smooth surfaces, absorbs and disperses enemy radar signals like a sponge rather than reflecting them back like a mirror. Physically, the ship is a massive beast, 198 meters long. However, on a Chinese radar operator's screen, this enormous hull appears as nothing more than a small, meaningless signal, a fishing boat or a flock of seabirds. This fishing boat illusion creates deadly hesitation in the enemy command center. Is it worth launching a multi-million-dollar anti-ship missile at that small signal? Or is it just an illusion? By the time that decision is made, the Zumwalt will already be locked onto its target. But stealth is not limited to radar visibility. The U.S. Zumwalt also minimizes its thermal and acoustic signature. Sensors in the deckhouse optimize the heat and exhaust gases generated by the engines, even the way the water covers the hull, making it difficult for enemy satellite infrared sensors to detect it. This multispectral stealth extends the enemy's kill chain, the process of finding, identifying, targeting, and firing at the target, by minutes, even hours. And in modern warfare, even a few seconds of delay can mean the difference between victory and defeat. This stealth gives the Zumwalt the freedom to approach enemy shores dangerously close, to move like a ghost within their defense networks, and to attack from the most unexpected places. This is an operational freedom worth its weight in gold in the missile age. If the Zumwalt's ghostly hull is the invisible cloak of a phantom, then the hypersonic missiles it carries are the Phantom's dagger, never missing its mark and stopped by no armor. The Zumwalt is the first surface platform to carry the U.S. Navy's new generation of hypersonic glide vehicles known as the Conventional Prompt Strike, CPS. Why these missiles cannot be stopped is a separate matter of curiosity. They do not fly in a predictable arc like traditional ballistic missiles. After launch, they exit the atmosphere, then dive back in at an unimaginable speed, exceeding Mach 5, or 5 times the speed of sound, gliding toward their targets. Most importantly, they can maneuver like a fighter jet during this glide phase, making it impossible even for the most advanced air defense systems such as Russia's S-400 or China's HQ-9 to predict their next move and lock onto them. By the time the target is hit, the enemy usually only just realizes the attack. When fully loaded, the Zumwalt can carry a total of 12 of these hypersonic missiles, each capable of destroying a command center, an underground bunker, or an aircraft carrier. This arsenal means the capability to launch an unstoppable attack on any target anywhere in the world within minutes, with 0 warning time. This is not just a military capability, but a strategic trump card that redefines the global balance of power. The combination of Zumwalt's unique stealth and hypersonic strike capabilities creates a strategic nightmare scenario with no solution for the US rivals, China, Russia, and North Korea. For China, this means the complete collapse of its famous anti-access area denial (AD) architecture, which it has spent billions building in the Pacific. China's strategy was to keep the US Navy away from its shores by building a wall of anti-ship missiles and sensors. However, the Zumwalt can slip through this wall like a ghost and strike Beijing's most protected command centers or nuclear submarine bases on Hainan Island with hypersonic missiles from the most unexpected directions. Chinese generals once boasted, "No one can see us." Now it has become clear that if you cannot see the enemy, you also cannot see the enemy striking you. For Russia, this means its untouchable nuclear strongholds in the Arctic, namely the ballistic missile submarine bases on the Kola Peninsula, are now defenseless. A Zumwalt silently appearing in the icy waters of the Barents Sea could destroy the heart of Russia's entire nuclear deterrent within minutes before Moscow even has a chance to react. For North Korea, this could spell the end of the regime. Kim Jong-un's underground bunkers, missile launch facilities, and command centers are now constantly under threat from an invisible executioner circling offshore. This completely strips the Pyongyang regime of the uncertainty and madness that has ensured its survival. After a troubled start, the USS Zumwalt has been reborn as a symbol of US technological genius and strategic adaptability. It's not just a warship, it's a vision of what naval warfare will look like in the future. In this vision, quality, not quantity, technology, not brute force. Invisibility, not visibility, wins. The real trick of this ghost ship is not to disappear, but to appear where and when the enemy least expects it, destroying its most valuable, irreplaceable assets. In a world where detection is deadly, remaining undetected until it's too late may be the most valuable weapon on the water. Therefore, the leaders in Beijing, Moscow, and Pyongyang are right to be concerned and fearful, because a ghost is roaming the ocean, and in that ghost's hand is an unstoppable dagger striking at 5 times the speed of sound. However, the global terror created by the USS Zumwalt does not stem solely from the ship's futuristic steel hull. The Zumwalt is not a lone wolf hunting by itself, but the sharpest and deadliest tooth in a massive nervous system stretching from orbit to the ocean floor, consisting of tens of thousands of sensors, spy satellites, ghost drones, and allied intelligence services. This is the very essence of the 21st century war doctrine dubbed the kill web by the Pentagon. This network is the real power that collapses all of China and Russia's military plans while they are still in the planning stages. To understand this new war doctrine, one must set aside traditional warfare logic. In old wars, finding a target and hitting that target was usually the job of the same platform. A warship would detect an enemy ship with its own radar and hit it with its own missiles. The kill web completely breaks down this equation and reassembles it. According to this philosophy, any sensor should be able to connect to any weapon instantly. This means that a target detected by a Japanese satellite can be confirmed by a P-8 aircraft taking off from Australia and struck by an American Zumwalt destroyer hundreds of kilometers away. We're talking about a war of data and networks, not platforms. The first and most important layer of this network lies in orbit. Hundreds of spy satellites managed by the U.S. National Reconnaissance Office, their numbers and capabilities top secret, form the brain of this network. These satellites specialize in different tasks. Imagery intelligence is one. Legendary Keyhole series satellites can take such high-resolution photos of Earth's surface that it's said they can read a car's license plate or a soldier's rank insignia. Their job is to reveal when a new aircraft carrier launches from China's Shanghai shipyard or when a submarine shelter door opens on Russia's Kola Peninsula. Detecting when North Korea moves a new missile to its launch pad, even at the very first moment of movement, is also their job. Signal intelligence satellites are the ears of the world, listening to enemy radar, radio communications, and electronic signals from ships thousands of kilometers away. However, even this satellite network has a weakness. Predictable orbits allow the enemy to know when they'll be blind. This is where the second, more flexible layer comes in. Stealth UAVs like the Northrop Grumman RQ-180 White Bat, which can fly invisibly for more than 24 hours over the most dangerous areas, including mainland China and Russia's Arctic. Their mission is to fill the small gaps left by satellites and provide strike assets like the Zumwalt with real-time, high-resolution targeting data. And this network isn't composed solely of American assets. The world's oldest intelligence alliance, the Five Eyes of US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, forms its foundation. In recent years, Japan and South Korea have also become integrated into this alliance. So what does this mean? The acoustic signature of a Chinese submarine detected by an Australian P-8 Poseidon in the South China Sea can be combined with signal data from the UK's listening station in Cyprus, visually confirmed by an American satellite, and within seconds appear as a firing solution on a USS Zumwalt destroyer screen on the other side of the Pacific. This is not the weapon of one nation, but the collective intelligence and technological power of a civilization turned into a weapon. Meanwhile, the second and perhaps most mysterious layer of the kill chain operates deep beneath the ocean's surface, the hunting ground of the U.S. Navy's nuclear attack submarines and unmanned underwater vehicles. The primary mission of a Virginia-class nuclear submarine isn't always to sink an enemy ship. It's often to serve as an invisible forward observation post. These submarines can lie in wait for weeks, even months, just outside Chinese or Russian naval bases, tracking every vessel that leaves port, recording acoustic signatures, learning tactics, maneuvers, and weaknesses, and whispering this intelligence to the network via secure satellite channels. They're the silent heartbeat of the kill web. These manned hunters are now joined by autonomous underwater vehicles, UVs, stationed along key passages where enemy submarines might pass. Beneath even these sensors lies a modern, AI-enhanced version of the Cold War acoustic surveillance network fixed to the ocean floor, so sensitive it can not only detect a submarine, but also identify its class and even the specific vessel. This enormous flow of data from space, air, sea, and undersea is funneled into joint command centers like the Pacific Fleet HQ in Hawaii or EUSO-M in Germany. There, powerful AI filters the chaos, presenting commanders with a real-time 3D picture of the entire battlefield. This is America's true superweapon, information supremacy. The Zumwalt's hypersonic missiles are simply the kinetic expression of that supremacy. When those missiles launch, they are guided by a system that knows better than the target itself where it is, what it's doing, and what it will do next. The threat facing China and Russia isn't just a technologically superior ship, it's an enemy that sees everything they do, hears everything they say, and processes it faster than they can. They must fight in a transparent ocean inside a glass box. While China and Russia focus on building more ships and missiles, the U.S. has mastered the software that connects them all, the kill chain. And in today's wars, the side with superior software will achieve absolute and undeniable victory. Yes, the U.S. Zumwalt, known as the ghost ship, is intimidating, but the ghost within the machine behind it, information and intelligence, is the true determinant of global power. Thank you for watching.